This big tree I cut back 2 years ago.
Yeah.
To exactly like those,
Right.
just a trunk line. And I picked my branches, and granted now, I mean, you can see the big cut that was originally
Right.
made. Now, these branches have to come
Are
off
too
again,
thick, right.
cut back, and regrow. But, you know, it's just got such a great trunk.
Right.
And now, what you said before about cutting roots off and
Right.
pruning, it went everything contrary until I placed it's pot bound.
Yes.
It doesn't have room to grow.
Yeah.
It's slow because it's pot bound,
Right.
so we need to cut it back.
Right.
So
And you're improving, when you do that, you're improving, if you cut them steep enough, the radial root system. And this, you know, would have been ideal last year for workshop material, because so many of the workshops in Florida, when they bring artists in, they give them trees like those, and you have to chop it to a line, and you know, people get tired of that.
all they get is a tree and a line.
Even as it is now, but more so probably last year with this here,
Yep.
back.
Yep.
It would be ideal to, with time, granted it would probably be best as an all-day workshop.
Yep.
But I told Michael, take a batch of these, prep them just like this.
Mm-hmm.
And because he said, you know, oh, we'd love to maybe have you back in the future. I said, set 10 aside and do that, and then next year do an all-day workshop,
Right.
and, you know, charge.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Great
They go home
material.
with a specimen tree, basically.
Right, in one style.
Right.
Because this is exactly what I do with if I wanted to prep it for a workshop.
Okay. So it's just one of those things that's hard to get over in New England. Is, you know, this has been basically 2 years, and last
Right.
year I just sheared,
Right.
just to keep it in
Exactly.
shape
That's
and
what I
let
do.
branches grow.
Because-
so
yeah.
now it's thin out. Again,
Right.
the big heavy ones have to be cut back.
Right.
Pull out a new shoot.
Right.
Now, when you take off a big branch, I'm more apt to leave like a stub and then pull a branch off that, then trim it down.
Right.
Would you just cut right back to the trunk, leave the collar a little bit, and let it
If I was
grow
on a
out?
1-year plan, I'd cut right to the trunk.
Okay.
If I was going to prep this for 8 months from now, 6 months from
You'd
now,
leave the stub.
I'd leave the stub. I say cut right back down. The lower ones, I might leave a stub more so, because then you have a transition
Right,
into
you have
the
larger
thick branch.
branches
Yeah, you can
below.
pull the taper
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
But this
Like
is
this, we'd leave this,
Yeah.
and then trim these out
Right.
here, so
Right.
we have the larger branch
right,
and then the
you,
smaller
and
above.
even then, at this stage, you get some of that undulating characteristic of the Taiwanese
Right,
ficus.
right.
But this is ideal, and whenever I try and prep the material, like they're coming to look at material for the Florida convention at my nursery this coming week, they'll pull the stuff, and that's exactly what I do, and I hold it for a year to try and give them something so that people don't leave with stumps.
Right.
Because I'd much rather work with a student and have them leave with, like you said, a finished tree.
Right.
Maybe not finished in some of
But
the
it's
stuff
major
needs to
styling
thicken,
has
but
been done.
It's a silhouette.
Right.
That's what people
It's
like.
not just branches.
Right. So, but you're right. You know, like I said, plating them at the same time. I mean, obviously this did fine in here, but I think you'd get even more. And you'd improve the root, and you'd have less heft
Moving
in the
around.
nursery, and
Yep.
the people are more comfortable. If you try and market
Oh, yeah,
that
they're scared of
workshop,
this.
they're like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want it. But if you market it, and then if you plate it
In like a
into
12-inch bulk pen.
yeah, then you don't have to push necessarily the repotting at the same time either, because it's manageable to take home.
Right.
So I agree. And he asked me, you know, he said, I'm trying to get ideas for speakers and stuff. And I said, if you have me back, you know, prep a batch of material like that. And the retusas were the other thing.
The pigments,
if
yep.
you did the same thing, like the one that was
Yep.
you cut back and hold them like that, just topiary prune for a year, they're ideal.
Right.
You know,
Great.
I'd love to work that in a
Great.
workshop. So.
Great.
So come to the future Erik Wigert workshop at Bonsai West.
Yep.
Stop laughing.